Mermaids have been the most controversial creatures ever to exist. They closely resemble humans and are believed to be half human, half fish, as per the infamous folklore echoed in many of our cultures. Do you believe they're real? Let us know in the comment section below. And stick around as we take a look at some real mermaids spotted on camera. But first, let's see their closest relatives still living among us, the Bajau. Number 10. Sama Bajau. Far from being mermaids, meet the Bajau Sea Nomads. They're one of the largest and most diverse ethno-linguistic groups in insular Southeast Asia. They're also the only humans reportedly known to hold their breath for 13 minutes. The Bajau people's nomadic lifestyle has given them remarkable adaptations, enabling them to stay underwater for unbelievable periods of time. Underwater, the Bajau are comfortable as most people are on land. They can even walk on a seafloor. They simply have complete control of their breath and body. Not all of them dive, and some avoid it entirely. But those who do take the skill to an extreme. Each day, they'll spend more than 5 hours underwater. If that's not a mermaid skill, I don't know what is. Scientists have been closely monitoring this group, but one thing's for sure, they don't have web feet. Number 9. Mermaids spotted in South Africa. One sighting that spiked people's attention online was that of a mermaid swimming close to the shore in South Africa. The costume-dressed mermaid's performance was epic, and she almost had me fooled for a second with her outstanding swimming skills. Were it not for the kids who were playing on the shallow beach waters, you'd agree that was a mermaid. Nowadays, mermaid performances are common, and many are making some good buck from it. Some do it in restaurants, some are contracted in amusement parks, and others are freelancers who offer their services to any potential buyers. The children's reaction was priceless, and for a second, they were convinced they'd spotted a mermaid. Unfortunately, if they try this on a real mermaid, things won't go well, knowing the rumors of their cunning and violent behaviors. Despite these findings, we can't disprove of a mermaid's existence because we've only discovered about 5% of the average sea life. Despite the vastness of the oceans and seas, there are a lot of things we don't know about. Number 8. Ugliest mermaid ever caught. When you picture what a mermaid would look like, most times the image painted in our heads is of Ariel, a stunning lady with a slim physique that she'd have men and women alike bashing over her. But from a recent video that has been causing a stir online, it seems like Ariel isn't the only mermaid in the waters, as this one looks more like Ursula or worse. It had 4 mammary glands on its chest, a pot belly, and the head looked more like a piranha. The teeth were widely spaced in its mouth. However, it did have very human-like arms that were tied to the back, and we couldn't see them clearly in the video. The only thing that's restraining me from calling this thing an abominable hoax was the fact that it seemed to be breathing while laying upon the surface. Now to the question of the day. Do you think this is a real-life mermaid? Or is it a bunch of people with really good dress-up skills? Number 7. Filipino tourists spot a mermaid. The Philippines is at the top of the list of the most exotic tourist destinations in 2022. It has a rich culture not only limited to food, but also the Filipino lifestyle. In addition to that, you'll get to visit some out-of-this-world beaches. But that's not the only astonishing thing that happened on these beaches, as a video surfaced online showing a group of people on a boat ride. They saw a mystical mermaid. At first, the camera just showed a bright light coming from the water, but soon after, something strange appeared. It looked like a lady with something like a fin at the bottom of her body, leading people who watched the video to assume that it was a mermaid. I'm not sure I'm totally convinced by the charade being pulled, because why would they be clapping and cheering so calmly? Anyway, we just have to take their word for it because none of us were there to see what they saw on that boat ride. Number 6. Mermaid sighting in Israel. Turned to look at them, and I swear I did see a human face there, so it most certainly looked like a mermaid. Number 5. Mermaid spotted in Spain. You've most certainly heard of the Blue Man Group, but have you heard of the bluish-purple mermaid? And that's not some reference to some cartoon character. Videos show that someone was lucky enough to record a very blurry video that featured what looked like a bluish-purple merman who was basking on a rock that sat in the middle of a river. And if not for how blurry it was, I would have agreed that it was a merman. But it is a blurry video that seems like the owner of the video was trying to hide that the man was a human being dressed in some kind of mermaid costume. Number 4. Camera catches mermaid on submersible. Submarine. Is this video a hoax? Probably yes, even though several people have said it's the closest discovery there's been of humans coming into contact with real-life mermaids. Number 3. Camera captures mermaid hand-on footage during a fishing expedition. If you want to hear stories of the weirdest things caught in fishing nets, then I suggest you hang out with fishermen. There have been records of them finding humans and animal body parts. Sometimes they even stumble upon deceased people trapped in their nests. The most fascinating one, however, has to be the one right here. When a bunch of fishermen had upholstered their net and were just about to cut it open to stock the fish onto the boat, something strange drew its hand and tried to pull at the net. The fishermen were so spooked that they let the whole net back into the water, fish and everything. I can't say for sure if that was a mermaid or not, but it was scary enough to make a bunch of grown men let go of a great payday. Number 2. Human mermaid. In 1999, a little girl was born in Maine with a very rare condition. Her 2 feet were fixed together, making her seem like she had a mermaid's fin. She had rich black hair, and her mother claimed she had the biggest, most beautiful eyes she'd ever seen. Shiloh Pepin was doomed to fall critically ill and pass away sooner than later. But when you met her, she was the happiest child in the crowd without a single worry in her mind. Needless to say, this child didn't live on water and on land alternatingly. That said, you might be wondering why she's on our list. Well, that's because this is as real as the mermaid legend goes to be true. A rare mermaid syndrome that has affected just a small percentage of the population rather than being a mystical being. This goes without saying, but Shiloh will forever be missed. Number 1. Fisherman catches a dead mermaid in New Zealand. New Zealand is a cultural hub filled with numerous activities. Amongst them are several sandy beaches where one can enjoy the cool breeze blowing from the sea. Many didn't expect waking up to the news of a corpse washed up on the shores. Upon closer observation, what seemed to be a humanoid structure was a mermaid with a tail fin and scales. The photo of the so-called mermaid has made several rounds online, and many have been baffled and left wondering whether it was a legit sighting or not. I'm not superstitious, but there's a chance that these creepy creatures truly exist. What I don't agree with is that this mermaid-like model is a real mermaid when you consider the natural laws of nature. We'll leave you to decide whether what was captured on camera is truly a mermaid. Until next time, adios.